Hello and welcome to BYJU'S IAS. Since it's a Sunday, the static subject we have chosen is Indian polity. So let's get started with our daily quiz and look at question number 1. When President's rule is imposed in a state, the fundamental rights under Article 19 are immediately suspended. Statement number 2, President's rule can be revoked by the President only after parliamentary approval. When President's rule is imposed in a state, nothing happens to the list of fundamental rights that we have. So statement number 1 is incorrect. President's rule can be revoked at any point in time by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. That means statement number 2 is also incorrect. So D, both these statements are incorrect. D is the right answer. Let's look at question number 2. The maximum constitutional validity of a national emergency is 3 years. Financial emergency, once imposed, continues to remain in force unless revoked by the President. Statement number 2 is correct because there is no upper limit for a financial emergency. Once it is imposed by the President, it continues to remain in force till it is revoked by the President. But when it comes to the national emergency, there is no upper limit. There is no maximum constitutional validity of a national emergency. Yes, once imposed, it continues for a period of 6 months, but it can be extended again for a period of 6 months, then again 6 months, and this process can continue. But there is no maximum constitutional validity of a national emergency. That means statement number 1 is incorrect. Which of the above statements are correct? B, only 2 is the right answer. Let's look at question number 3. Which of the following statements regarding an ordinance is incorrect? The maximum life of an ordinance is 7.5 weeks. This is correct. Ordinance can be promulgated only by the President and the Governor, which is true. Ordinance can be promulgated by the President only when either one or both houses of the Parliament are adjourned. Statement number 4, the promulgation of an ordinance is subject to judicial review. A is correct, B is correct, D is correct, C is wrong. Why? Because an ordinance can be promulgated by the President only when either one or both houses of the Parliament are prorogued or are not in session. Adjournment does not terminate the session of Indian Parliament. That means even if the houses of the Indian Parliament have been adjourned, the session continues, the session is not terminated. Ordinance can be promulgated by the President only when either one or both houses of the Parliament are not in session. This statement is wrong. The question is asking which of the following statement is incorrect. So C is the right answer. Let's look at question number 4. Which of the following language is not mentioned in the 8th schedule? Nepali is mentioned, Sindhi is mentioned, Dogri is mentioned, English is not. Why? Because Schedule 8 talks about a list of 22 Indian languages. English is not an Indian language, despite the fact that English, along with Hindi, is the official language of the Union of India, but it is not mentioned in the 8th schedule. C is the right answer. Let's look at question number 5. Under Article 262, President can provide for the adjudication of any dispute with respect to the use, distribution and control of waters of any interstate river or river valley. No, this power is not given to the President. This power is given to the Parliament. The Parliament under Article 262 can provide for the adjudication of any dispute with respect to the interstate river waters. The Parliament can establish under Article 263 an interstate council. Not the Parliament, it is the President under Article 263 who can set up an interstate council. Statement number 3, President is the head of interstate council. No, it's the Prime Minister who is the head of the interstate council. So which of the above statements are correct? None of these statements are correct. D is the right answer. Let's look at question number 6. Consider the following statements and answer the correct ones. Both president as well as the governor has the power to pardon a death sentence. Governor does not have the power to pardon a death sentence. President has. Half of the statement is correct, half is incorrect. That means the entire statement is incorrect. Governor of a state has the power to suspend, remit, or commute a sentence of death. Governor, he does not have the power to pardon a death sentence, but what he or she can do, he can suspend, remit, commute a sentence of death. So statement number 2 is correct. B, only 2 is the right answer. Question number 7. The term of Rajya Sabha can be extended by 1 year when national emergency is in operation. No. Why? Because Rajya Sabha is the permanent house of Indian Parliament. It is not subject to dissolution. When it is not subject to dissolution, that means extending the term of Rajya Sabha by a year. This question does not arise. Yes, when national emergency is imposed, the term of Lok Sabha can be increased 1 year at a time, but not with respect to Rajya Sabha. Statement 1 is incorrect. Vice President of India is the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. This statement is correct, despite the fact that Vice President of India is not the member of Rajya Sabha. But still, he presides over the sessions of Rajya Sabha because he is the ex officio chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Statement 2 is correct. B, only 2 is the right answer. Which of the following do not take part in the election of the President of India? To put it simply, President is elected by the Electoral College. Who all are part of the Electoral College? Elected members of both houses of the Parliament. That means both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, as well as the elected members of legislative assemblies. Nominated members, they do not participate. They are not part of the Electoral College. That means D is the right answer. Question number 9. Which of the following statements is or are true regarding constitution amendment bills? Number 1. A constitution amendment bill can be introduced only on the recommendation of the President of India. No, not required. In case of a deadlock, a joint session of the Parliament can be convened by the President. No. A constitution amendment bill shall have to be passed by both houses of the Indian Parliament separately by special majority. There is no concept of joint sitting of the two houses of the Parliament in case there is a deadlock. Statement number 3, President can use any of his vetoes when a constitution amendment bill is passed. No. Constitution says, because the Constitution was amended in 1971, Constitution says that the President shall give his assent to a constitution amendment bill. That means he has only one option: sign it. D. All these statements are incorrect. None of the statements are correct. D is the right answer. The last question for today: the basic structure doctrine of the Constitution of India, propounded by the Supreme Court in a very famous Keshavaranda Bharti versus State of Kerala judgment in the year 1973. What does this doctrine imply? It basically means certain features of the Constitution are so essential that they cannot be abrogated. So A is the right answer. That is it from our daily quiz. Thank you for being with us. Have a great day.